Change has been said to be one of the things humans are least fond of. Some people even go as far to say that change can frighten them. Some people thrive to make a change, and some work against it. But if I have noticed one thing about change in my life, it is that no matter what it is, it can be hard to overcome. Throughout our entire career attending St. John's Public Schools, we have been preparing for a change. We have been preparing to move from high school to college, adulthood, or any other path we have dreamed of. Every single one of us has had a slight idea of what our own future holds to prepare us for this transition. We have spent days, weeks, months, and years preparing to change our lives, to move to the future and become adults. Everyone has put forth an effort to prepare for this adjustment. But little did we know as the class of 2020 that the change we had been preparing for would be so much different than what we had expected. In 5th grade, most people are uncertain about what they want to be when they grow up. Some dream of becoming astronauts and some school teachers, but no one knows for certain. In elementary school, we all dream of getting a job, a house, or our own pets someday, but it is all still a dream when we are young. At that point in our lives, our minds have already begun to prepare us, not only for the shift from elementary school to middle school, but for a much larger transition later on in our lives. By the time we reach middle school, we have started to figure some things out for ourselves. We start to learn what sports we like to play or what classes are our favorites. We think about what high school might be like for us in the future. We watch the football team at homecoming and the marching band perform the light show, and we imagine what we will be a part of when we get the chance. We learn, we create, and we start to build ourselves to prepare for the shift from middle school to high school. And while we are preparing for the shift to high school, we are subconsciously preparing for a much larger change later on. Next, we arrive in high school. Small freshmen with so much hope for high school to be amazing, we get lost in the halls and we look up to the seniors. We practice every day to get onto that varsity team or land the lead role in the musical. Every day we work to be better than we were the day before because that is how we have been taught to earn things. In the fall of our senior year, we apply to dream schools and hope for the best. We stress about making it into colleges or getting jobs. We work until we are finally upperclassmen, when we have made the varsity team or nailed that audition. We work and live our lives until we are prepared to make the next big transition, to move forward and achieve what we have earned, what we have worked for years. We have spent our whole lives preparing for this change. We are ready to move forward. We are ready to take on the world. But then the world stopped. The world changed. We had been preparing for a change, a way to adapt to our futures, but this was not what we had prepared for. All of those years we spent working for that varsity sport, that senior season, our last concerts and performances together, all of this time we had been preparing for a change, but nothing like this. We all quickly became crushed, devastated. COVID-19 had stolen so much from our class. We were all expecting to have our lasts, to say our goodbyes, to eat lunch with the same people for the last time. It took weeks for me to realize these few things, though. We are allowed to have feelings about all of this. We are allowed to be sad. We are allowed to be angry. But we are also allowed to have hope. I realized that all of this preparation we had been doing could not only be used to say goodbye at our graduation or take a final bow at our last concert. All of this preparing for a change was really preparing us to take on the world as graduates of St. John's High School. I stand here today not only to tell you, but to inspire you, class of 2020, to take on the world that has stopped, to see the light at the end of the tunnel, to find hope in everything going on around you. Look to the stars and dream. Now is our chance to adapt and overcome our circumstances, to have hope about our future. Spread kindness. Come up with new ideas for new activities. Inspire younger siblings and make the older ones proud. Remind yourself who you are and what you've worked for. But most importantly, get out there and take on our world.